So no fitness routine is complete without some good stretching. I know that often we're pressed for time, so I wanted to share the universal stretches that I do with just about all of my clients, and I do every day myself. They target areas that tend to be tight on just about all of us, and they're pretty universal. So here goes. You're going to use a yoga strap or a belt or a Pilates ring, whatever you have handy that enables you to easily reach your foot in these stretches. Lying on your back, you're going to start by taking one foot into your strap. So the opposite knee can stay bent if the hamstring feels tight. If it feels like you're pretty open, you can go ahead and extend that opposite leg out onto the mat. You're reaching the right foot up toward the ceiling rather than jamming the toes back to get a little bit more length through the back of the leg. If you want, you can take your thumb and hook it into that hip crease to get a little bit more length through the side of the waist that's stretching. So for me here, it's my right side. I'm reaching my right sits bone away from my right shoulder as I pull the front of my thigh in toward my chest. I'm going to go ahead and hold the strap with both hands so that I can relax the shoulders a little bit more and get my shoulder blades a little bit closer to the mat. The back of the neck is long and I'm reaching back through the crown of my head. You'll take about 5 breaths in this position. Then you're going to take your strap into your right hand or whichever side you're on. You're going to make sure that the opposite hip, which for me right now is my left hip, stays on the mat as you start to open the working leg, the stretching leg, out to the side. So you'll know if you've come too far over because that opposite hip will start to lift up off of the ground. So here we're stretching the inner thigh, the adductor muscle. You want to keep reaching the sits bone away from the shoulder, keep some space between the hip bone and the bottom rib on the side that's stretching. So if it feels good and if the opposite leg is extended, you can take the opposite arm up by that ear. And then you'll bring the stretch a little bit more into the front of the waist and into that hip flexor. Holding here for about 5 breaths. You can intensify the stretch by externally rotating the leg that's stretching, bringing the toes and the top of the knee to point more toward the floor. So after about 5 breaths, you'll use the abdominals to help bring that leg back up to center, at which point you'll take your strap in the opposite hand, hook the thumb into the hip crease to draw the hip down away from the shoulder, and then start to bring the leg across the body. So you're not going to come very far over. You're not going for a twist here. You're just going for a stretch down the outer part of the leg into the IT band. You can start to take the sole of that foot to face the opposite wall, bending a little bit at the ankle. You'll notice a little bit of a change in the stretch. And if it feels like too much, you can always bend that opposite knee. So you'll hold here for about 5 breaths. And then when you're finished, you're going to bring that leg back to center. You'll release and repeat on the opposite side. The next stretch that you will do is thread the needle. So you're just going to take one ankle and cross it over the opposite thigh. Bring both knees in toward the chest. And then reach the arm that's on the same side as the working leg through the triangle that you've just created in your lap. You'll take hold of the back of the opposite thigh as you start to draw both knees in toward your chest. So right now I'm stretching my left outer thigh, my left piriformis, my left glutes. My left foot is flexed. As I start to bring my right knee closer to my chest, my shoulders are back, my tailbone is lengthened. If you want to deepen the stretch, you can take your hands and interlace the fingers on top of the right shin. Breathing into the stretch, you'll take about 5 breaths here before you release and switch sides. So that does it. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.